Imagine you have that magical assistant that knows everything about your company. Now you can have that for like $50 per month for every guy in your team. This is like giving everybody a personal assistant. All of these things give an immediate productivity boost.
So where should I meet you?
Well, because I'm in AI and I'm in finance. So I'm that finance guy of that IT company. So I think that matches quite well.
And somebody told me you wrote a book with your wife about AI and finance.
With the usage of AI to write the book about how to use AI in finance, yeah.
Can you explain like what is in the book and what is that finance people need to know about AI that is not really so obvious?
Well, I think everybody knows that we need to use it, but like getting started is hard for people. So what we try to do is like give them something to think about, to chew about, give some ideas on, okay, this could be something, because every finance organization is a little bit different. The whole organizations are surely different. Finding the right starting point might be difficult, but getting started is so crucial in order to work on that, because we all know that finance 5 years from now will totally look different. I mean, the typical accounting clerk, we won't need these jobs in that setup. We'll need people that can work with modern systems to utilize all the power that's in there. So like my top quote a year ago when we wrote the book was like, those people won't be replaced by AI, but will be replaced by people that use AI.
Exactly, yeah.
By now, I'm not so sure about that, because there will be people that will be like finally like taken out of the equation, and because the systems will just be so productive that you don't need the same two people to utilize the system that did the job before. You will need one, and the other one will be replaced, and the one will be replaced by somebody who knows how to use these systems.
But we hear like in one of the panel that actually there is already a staffing problem. So maybe like jobs will be replaced, but not people, meaning that a lot of people will go to retirement and it's very hard to find the skills to replace these people. So you will need actually to use technology to do the same type of work, or even like more complex work with less people.
Totally true. And like in a broader picture, I mean, we are doing IT services, so we have like developers, and developers was like a very scarce resource 2 years ago. With the Russian invasion to Ukraine, and all of the companies needed to get rid of these Eastern European developers for security reasons and compliance reasons. There was a scarcity of resources in there, and then you need to see, we will need more IT in the future. We need people that build these systems and so on. So there's a high demand, and the demand will be higher. And at the same time, we see that we are projecting a productivity increase of like maybe 50% on a developer. Because he can use these systems. So if you have 10,000 developers, they will do the job of 15,000. What is the demand for that? We'll need to see. So we have like two growth effects, and which one will be the stronger, we need to see. And we have the same effect, I think, in finance area. We have like shrinking workforce in like Germany and other developed countries, while at the same time we will see a productivity increase over people using smarter systems than they are doing at the moment. And let's see what will be the top effect of those two. But there is a lot of dynamic and friction in the systems, and definitely people that are not able to adapt to that will be a disadvantage on labor market and for the company in their future setup. So everybody who's responsible for a finance organization, they need to work on that.
So with your book, did you focus on AI in general, or rather generative AI and the LLMs, how to use them?
Well, I think all LLMs, this is an easy access point. And once you're able to find a secure environment, which is crucial for financial data for sure, and be able to get the majority of your company data and even like your up-to-date ERP data into such systems, this is a very good starting point for departments to play around and find their use cases.
But we are still really far away from having even companies that I see have like an enterprise contract with either ChatGPT or Azure. They don't have yet the LLMs connected with their enterprise data, because it's like really another project. Like they have some documents to fine tune the models, like PDFs of HR policies or some key data, some processes. But I didn't see yet a company where they kind of like let the LLMs to have full access to the flat SAP tables.
Yeah, and then let people have full access to these systems that have full access to the data set while you're restricted for the people themselves. That's something that needs to be solved. I think companies are reluctant on that one for good reason. Because I mean, data integrity and GDPR and so on, these are important areas, and you need to be compliant on these things. And at the same time, we all know the potential that's in there. Yeah. So for me, this is like a technical step that needs to be solved, and the solution might be different for each organization, and you might still have like that set of top priority data that you don't put into the system. But it's utterly clear, if you give such a system access to all your emails, it will be better than if it doesn't have these access. And if you have like live data from your ERP in there, well, you can ask the system the same way you would ask your senior controller about, like, tell me about what's relevant in our company today.
That's a good example, because for me, I think there's still so much waste in time when, for example, a client or a supplier goes to your CEO and call and ask, why is my invoice not paid? Then the CEO asks the CFO, like, forward the email. Then the CFO asks the accountant or the head of accounting. Then the head of accounting asks the payables. Then the payables, they see that there is a problem in the match, so they will call maybe like the goods entry, the people that verify if the goods entry are there and good for the invoice. Then the good entry say, yeah, but something is missing. The supplier already knows it. And then like going back, and like you'll lose 1 week where actually maybe in between the invoices been paid, maybe the CEO could itself just see in the system, oh, I see like we are missing like just one of the...
Yeah, or the purchase manager is on vacation and the approval is missing or something like that.
And so instead of having the response to his friend or her friend directly on the phone saying, oh, like, let me check 2 seconds. Or yeah, like, actually, we just need to approve and it will be paid tomorrow. No, like, we need to get everybody, like 10 people, and instead of focusing on good problems, no, they are getting busy just answering to one really small request.
So like my top pitch to a CFO would be like, imagine you have that magical assistant that knows everything about your company and like can answer your questions that you have about what's going on in your company. And that could be like your daily 10 minutes update in your car, text to speech on top, and you can interfere. And I was like, hey, could you give me a drill down on why that sales in region whatever went up by 5%, and who's responsible for that, and what is the product that's responsible for that, and how did our pricing develop on that one? Like, natural language, I think, is a big element in there. I think many companies are stuck on the level that they have like 15, 20 relevant reports that are done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and this is how they steer the company, in the hope that these reports will answer the questions and trigger the right questions. But if you have like a system where you can naturally ask questions and get insights out of the belly of the system, that's like a new dimension.
So that's the dream, what you explained, like the CFO in his car or her car. But what about what you see now? Like, which use cases impress you the most that either you have worked on or either that you have seen at other companies?
I think it's the small first step that I really like. This is like giving everybody a personal assistant. I mean, senior management is used to having a personal assistant to be more productive and like coordinating all this stuff. And can you write me an email to that customer, or like explaining why we didn't pay that invoice, or like all of these things. Now you can have that for like what, $50 per month for like every guy in your team, for just $50. So something like 1% of his salary, and you're educating the people on how to utilize an assist, because not everybody's used to working like that, and let them play around with that. Give them like 2 hours a week to play around, find use cases, discuss it in your team meetings and like in your setup, and let them find out if it's productive for them to like replace individual emails, or is it like the Q&A center that drills into like your corporate guidelines or whatever, or is it like, these are all the documents we have, create a PowerPoint or translate that one into French. All of these things give an immediate, or rather immediate, like after 2-3 months of playing, productivity boost on nearly every employee in your organization.
And you're asking mentioned earlier, like what I do. So actually what I do is I retrain finance team to show the potential of first generative AI, showing that all of the white collars today can have like this assistant. The thing is, people don't know like how to ask the questions. The people also have a hard time finding use cases. So like we kind of break that in the trainings, show them the protein techniques, show them the use case for themselves. Like not just, oh, like do this exercise. No, I make sure in the training that it applies for treasurer, for somebody, sometimes from HR, for a CFO, for somebody in accounting, a controller, somebody more in Power BI, like an analyst. And in this training, it's really impressive to see how people started with, okay, like maybe I'm going to use AI to at the end 50 ideas in their mind on how they are going to apply that.
And if you collect these 50 ideas that like 20 people in your team have, you basically have a roadmap for the next 5-10 years on how to improve your organization. Plus, what I found out is you get the pain points of the people. They won't tell you. In some cases, they won't tell you the pain points. Oh, it's so time consuming to do all these PowerPoints for the board. Yeah, nobody will tell you this if you're the board.
In the trainings, though, they start to ask questions.
But if they say like, hey, is there a solution that I don't have to do this power? You know there's a pain point. Yeah, so that's something relevant. And yeah, the knowledge isn't there. So like prompting is a skill that needs to be learned. And I mean, the funniest thing about all these natural language models is that if you really speak in natural language to them, the quality you get out of them is still improvable.
Yeah.
So proper prompting isn't natural language yet. So I remember when Google went online, I was like student working in a consultancy company and doing websites for them. So basically, I think I was one of the first users of Google in Germany because we were like pressing replay till the site went up and we didn't know how to Google. Yeah, and I mean everybody needed to learn how to get like a good first page as a result from Google. We need to build the same skills when it comes to AI systems, and everybody will need it to some degree. And of course there will be like specialists that do framework stuff for a whole organization and do like master prompts and so on, or like even put it into a software where you just put some triggers and then like in the background it creates a proper prompting for you to get to your results.
And so, Alexander, if people want to read your book, like what is the name of the book and what can they learn and where can they find the book?
Oh, well, so we joined forces there, like me covering accounting, tax. We have like the internal audit perspective in there. We have the external audit perspective from Big Four in there to give like a comprehensive overview on the core finance functions with a bunch of ideas on how to use LLMs and GPT to work there. And we did this quite early. So we started like 1.5 years ago when I think GPT-3 barely hit the market.
Okay.
In a lot of areas we wrote, this will be possible in the near future, like having plugins, having like a reference system, being able to like put whatever documents you want inside and say like analyze.
You anticipate that.
Yeah. So we needed to anticipate. I think we were right on most things.
Good.
And what we really wanted to do is like give people ideas to work on. Yeah, because you need to present, like if you want to get these 50 out of everybody out of your team, you need to give them like 10, 20 first ideas. So we say like, hey, in controlling, you could think about these things. In text, maybe it's about like getting this stuff. So yesterday I discussed about a use case that was about putting double text treaty for all your countries bilaterally into a system, put in the OECD master documentation and just work with that and say like, hey, dear system, you know that's the area we're working in. These are our products and so on. These are the services we have in the group. Just analyze these documents and come up with a list of, are there any specialities that are relating to our list of services in any of these treatments? Does any of these treatments work differently than the other ones that we should be aware of? Which is quite easy. These are well-structured documents and the structures are known by these systems because they are obviously in the pool. But if you need to read these like boring legal documents of by language, yeah, so like there's an English version, yes, but there's also like a local country version in there. It's a nightmare, yeah. And if you structure it like that, it gets so much easier. Very simple use case, straightforward. You need like if you have a system set up, you just just dump these 20 documents in there and you're good to go within like 50 minutes. I think what people need to understand, as of now, you get the 80% version out of everything. You don't get the workflow that's fully AI with the result that you can fully trust on. Yeah? It's a personal assistant, and if you're the more qualified person, you need to review what your assistant gives you and make it your own document. And it's the same with AI. Like getting to this 80% in a Pareto optimal way in 20% of your time, this is a huge boost in productivity that you can get rather easy, and that most of your stuff can get rather easy if you teach them how to utilize and give them access and give them room for playing and doing errors and messing up and coming up with some results that don't work at all. But I think the success rate is rather high. Plus you get people that are way more involved with your organization because you're showing them actively that you're a modern organization. And you're leading the change in that area, a change that's crucial for their working career as well.
Yeah, modern organization.
Their personal growth for them and the growth for the organization at the same time. So that's superb.
Awesome. Well, Alexander, thank you. It was nice to meet you, and
thanks for having me.
Discover we have the same passion in how to use AI in business and finance, but also to help people use it, because I think we need everybody to start with this.
Everybody needs to. Thanks.
You too.